serving as the congressman for the 17th Congressional District of Florida since 2019. He presently and proudly serves on the House Ways and Means Committee, the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government. Now, before entering politics, Congressman Stubbe served in the U.S. Army in the JAG Corps, where he worked in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He also served as a Judge Advocate General prosecuting court martials within the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command area. Prior to being elected to Congress, Congressman Stubbe served for 2 years in the Florida Senate and 6 years in the Florida House. Congressman, welcome to This Week on the Hill.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
So let's talk a little bit about this. You know, we're celebrating freedom. And as a veteran, you understand that freedom is not free.
Yeah. We lost a lot of guys in my time when I was there. Operation Iraqi Freedom, and you look back, we just had an anniversary on D-Day in Normandy, and you look at those guys that went through. I served in a deployed environment, but I can't imagine what they went through, the World War II guys. Hand-to-hand combat, the brutality of what they saw in World War II. We're losing them all. There's not many of them left. I think there was a couple guys that are in their 90s. One guy was 100. But it is definitely not free, and there have been veterans and people willing to raise their right hand to serve our country for decades now, hundreds and hundreds of years. And that's what has made America stand different than any other nation in the world. And it's for that freedom that it's like the numbers are fascinating, too, because it's like less than 1% of Americans have ever risen their right hand and served. And it's that few people that the debt of our country owes so much. And it's just kind of interesting how few people have served and safeguarded our freedoms.
Are you concerned that we're losing those freedoms that
every day?
Not just our men and women in uniform, although we could spend hours talking about the social experimentation taking place in our military, but people not even voting. When they have an opportunity to vote, they don't take that sacred trust serious.
Yeah, I've started to do groups and panels and things in my district with business leaders, and we had one this past week because the Trump tax cuts will expire at the end of next year if we don't reauthorize them. And it's a 20% increase in taxes to every small business in America on the 199A deduction. And what I've told them, it was roofing companies, it was distribution companies that have truck drivers. And I said, I can guarantee you that you have people that work for you that are out building a roof every day or supervising building a roof or driving a truck for you every day that don't vote. And you're going to be dependent. If your taxes go up by 20%, they may not have a job. So explaining to the people that just work for you how important this election is, not just for all of the other issues that we can get into, but just for the tax and the economic situation that our country faces. For every small business in America to get a 20% increase in their federal income tax, they're going to have to lay people off. They won't have a choice. They won't be able to expand. And you think we're in a bad economy now, we'll be in a horrible economy after that. So it's getting that different demographic of people who aren't active, they don't care, but they may not have a job. Right. If Trump doesn't win in November and the tax cuts don't stay permanent and a 20% increase in every small business in America happens, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to lose jobs.
Well, let's talk about those issues going into this fall's election. Obviously, economics, and I can't imagine that there's a family in America that hasn't been impacted by the economic situation. I mean, you drive through to get a hamburger, and it's skyrocketed in price. What are the other, let's say, other two major issues you see as driving issues in this fall's election?
Yeah, the number one's definitely the economy, and underneath that are inflation and taxes and all the other pieces that lead into the current economic environment that we're in. But outside of that, my number one would be immigration, hands down. I think that's an 80% America issue. I don't think that's an R&D issue. I think the majority of Americans, independents, see what is happening at our southern border, see that we just had 400 ISIS affiliate people allowed to walk free in our country, see that over 367 known terrorists on the terrorist watch list have been allowed into our country. I think the number is like 18,000, thousands of criminals from all across the world because they know that our border's wide open, let into our country. I had a woman raped in my district by an illegal immigrant. So it's not just a border issue. Right. Every district in America is seeing the ramifications of an open border, that Joe Biden unilaterally created this chaos. He issued 64 executive orders. So economy, immigration. And then the other thing I would say is the culture wars, the morality of where we're at right now in our country. Biblical people and Christians are being attacked. And if you don't believe that a male who wants to identify as a woman and play on a sports team, if you don't agree with that, you're attacked. So we're having a morality, spiritual crisis in our country, and you're seeing that manifest through the positions that the Democrats are taking on everything from women's sports, on allowing biological men to compete, to transgendering everything, even our military. I mean, we're going to make transgender bathrooms and submarines, and the focus of the DOD is putting he, she pronouns or they, them pronouns in our DOD manuals. That's the focus of our military, not fighting our nation's wars. And that's, I would say, the third big thing, that it's gotten so far left, so progressive, so evil, that everyday Americans that may even not be Christians say, okay, I don't want my daughter in a locker room with a guy.
Right.
I don't think that that is appropriate. And they've gone so far to the left that I think even everyday Americans see that that's not right. And I think those people are going to stand up in November.
So a minute left, 60 seconds. Congressman Greg Steube, we're talking primarily to a Christian audience. What do they need to be doing as we move toward this fall's election?
Yeah, I know praying, you talk about that, and that's obviously very, very important. But like what I said with small business owners, people that don't typically get involved in the political process, they don't care. This is such a pivotal election for every single American, whether it be immigration, business, taxes, the economy, that people that don't normally get active in the process should encourage those people to vote and to go and vote for people that have biblical values and want to see our country back to the freedoms that we all stand for. And without that, I fear for the direction of our country.